Now to Mohamed Salah's bombshell interview where he claimed he had been thrown under the bus by Liverpool and suggested this weekend's game against Brighton could be his last game for the club. Well, the fallout to those comments continue. So this is Wayne Rooney speaking to the BBC saying Arne Slot has to show his authority and pull him in and say, you are not travelling with the team. What you said is not acceptable. Take yourself off to AFCON and let everything calm down. If I was him, there would be no way he would be in the team. He is absolutely destroying his legacy at Liverpool. If I was one of his teammates, I wouldn't be happy at all with what he said, because this is where Liverpool need him most. If anything, he's thrown Liverpool under the bus with his words. I'm sure over the next couple of years, he will regret saying what he has. And former Liverpool striker Michael Owen tweeted, "Oh, Mo Salah, I can imagine how you feel. You've carried this team for a long time and want everything there is to win. But this is a team game and you simply can't publicly say what you've said. You're going to AFCON in a week. Surely you bite your lip, enjoy representing your country and see how the land lies when you get back."
And there's three things, I guess, really, potentially in what he's trying to do. First of all, is he saying Arne Slot is not good enough? The coaching's not good enough. The standards are not good enough. This is a Liverpool Football Club side that are not achieving what they should be achieving. And does the blame lie at the door of the head coach? Point number one. Could he be also saying, actually, this recent form, this slump in form, this is not my fault. I've been made the scapegoat, as he said. He's the one that's been dropped out of the starting 11. He's the one that's been on the bench for 3 consecutive Premier League matches. But hang on. This isn't about Mo Salah, this is about Liverpool Football Club. And therefore, by me coming out and speaking publicly, I'm addressing that actually I'm not the problem here, and I don't like the fact that the narrative within the media is that Mo Salah's the one that's being dropped, and maybe Mo Salah's the reason why we're not performing as well as we would like to be. And the third thing, I think, quite simple, this is a come and get me plea. You know, January the 1st is not far away, just a matter of weeks now before the window is open. And now, if you didn't know a few days ago, you certainly know now that Mo Salah is potentially available. He still obviously has 18 months on his Liverpool contract, signed a new 2-year deal in the summer. And of course, he's on astronomical wages, which limits the very few clubs that potentially could afford to buy him. Wow. But when you look at all of that, and that ultimately Mo Salah can only answer what his motivation was for saying what he said so publicly, I think you have to look at those three things, and it will certainly be wrestling control of the narrative, question marks over his relationship with the head coach, maybe trying to engineer a move in January. I put something on my social media to try and just gauge the feeling amongst fans, amongst Liverpool fans. Really interesting to see what both Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen have said. The one thing I took away from my social media post was that Mo Salah is gold-plated at Liverpool. He's untouchable. The fans absolutely back him 100%, and no matter what he says in the media, they still feel he is the main man and he has the right to say and do what he wants. So Liverpool fans very firmly backing him in this situation.
Did Salah actually have a point? Because, I mean, he's earned the right to be playing, or can Arne Slot actually be justified for dropping him? What do we think?
It's fascinating because how many times has Mo Salah come up with the goods in Premier League matches, Champions League games, and actually done something? Even if he's had a quiet game or a poor game from a collective or a team perspective, how many times does he possess that special sauce that enables Liverpool to go and get 3 points, right? So his track record is scoring goals in crucial moments. If he has a quiet game, he can still come up with the magic. I found this really interesting as well. So a lot of talk about his performances individually, a lot of talk about things. Look at this, distance covered last season in the Premier League, 9.3 kilometres on average per game. Okay. This season, Mo Salah is running more on average than he did last season, up slightly to 9.7 kilometres. You're surprised at that?
I've not seen this yet, and I am surprised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So most people would say, well, has there been a drop-off from Mo Salah? Is he not working as hard for the team? You can see the sprints ever so slightly down.
Not much.
On last season, but 0.3.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing, the distance covered, he's covering more distance than he did last season. So you'd look at that and say, well, actually, he's maybe overperforming what you'd expect him to. There's been no drop-off with regards to the distance covered from Mo Salah. So that's one of the things that I find quite interesting. Then you flip that into the sort of goals and assists where he'll be judged. As you can see, this season, absolutely phenomenal. 47 goal involvements last year as they went to win the Premier League title. 54.7% goal contribution. So you can see the importance to him, how key he is, how important he was last season. This season, there is obviously a drop-off. We know he's not scored as many goals and got as many assists last season. Just the 4 goals in the Premier League, a couple of assists. The goal contribution rate down at 25%. So, again, the output, not quite there for Mo Salah, but certainly with regards to effort, energy, sprints, distance covered, he's doing the same or better than he was last season.
Look, how do we feel the club are going to respond to this? Do you think we'll find out a little bit more about his future as well? We'll find out a bit more about that in a minute.
That's coming up.
Yeah, I just want to know about his future then. And do we think Liverpool will release a statement? How do you think the club are going to react?
I think the club will be really unhappy at this situation. What Mo Salah's done is almost sort of chuck a grenade into the football club and let's see whether it fizzles out or it explodes. We don't know how they're going to react.
This is marvellously arrogant and marvellously elite. If you can put those 2 words together, I don't know if you can. Mo Salah's only been out of the team for 3 games, not 3 months. 3 games. Mo Salah was out of the team for 1 game under Jurgen Klopp. I think it was West Ham away a couple of years ago. And he acted like a big baby on that occasion. When Jurgen Klopp dropped him to the bench. He spoke to the media then, after the game. Not as vociferously as this, but he spoke to the media that day as well. He showed his true colours. Liverpool have backed the truck up for Mo Salah and emptied millions into his bank account. For him to say that he's not getting supported at this football club when they gave him this bumper new deal, and for him to say yesterday, I believe one of the quotes was, "I've earned my place in the team." We put up a graphic yesterday in the show. And do you know what that graphic was? It was all Mo Salah's achievements at Liverpool, all his goals, all his appearances. And do you know what that's worth at this moment in time? Nothing. Because that's history. What Arne Slot and Liverpool are looking for is future, is performances. And he's not giving that. And everybody, and almost everybody, Liverpool fans that go to the games, us watching here, Stevie who played for them, I've been watching Liverpool from the start of the season and saying, Mo Salah will need to be dropped. Now, could it be anybody else? Yeah, I mean, you could have dropped Gravenberg, McAllister got dropped yesterday, who hasn't played well. You could drop Konate. Heaven and hell, you could drop Virgil van Dijk. That's how bad he's been. Kerkez has been dropped. They've all been dropped. And they've all been dropped at certain times, apart from 1 or 2, because they haven't been playing well. And the entitlement of Mo Salah to come out and basically just throw everybody under the bus because little Mo's not getting his game time is a shocker. Everybody at this club, and it doesn't matter to me if Liverpool finish bottom of the league or top of the league. I've got no affiliation here. But everybody at this club, at this moment in time, and Frank will tell you, when you're in these situations, you need everybody pulling in the same direction. You need the sleeves getting rolled up, and you need grit and determination. What you don't need is an underperforming superstar blaming everybody else. We've seen it from the captain, we're now seeing it from the other superstar. In some sense, this could be a blessing for Liverpool because I'm telling you now, the best thing that can happen for Liverpool is if Saudi Arabia smell an opportunity, they come along, they offer Liverpool a few million quid for an early release from a contract, and they take him to Saudi Arabia, and Liverpool can move on. They don't have to pay his wages, and they don't get a player who's not playing well and crying about it. I think that would be the perfect scenario for Liverpool now, because do I think Mo Salah's going to come back and be the Mo Salah of the last few years? No, I don't. And now we've seen the true colours as well.
What are the odds of that happening in January, Beth? There must be talk about it now.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty unequivocal last night. He didn't say it explicitly, but everything that he said suggested that he doesn't see a future at Liverpool with Arne Slot still a manager. And like I say, he didn't spell that out explicitly, but it very much felt like it was a little bit of an ultimatum, really, to the Liverpool hierarchy to say it's either him or me. Now, we know, obviously, Liverpool have been struggling. Arne Slot is under pressure anyway. But I think, in a way, if Mo Salah had hoped that these comments would pressure the board to make a move in terms of changing the manager, I think it's probably had the opposite effect, because I think the Liverpool hierarchy now will be quite keen to show that they're not beholden to player power and they don't want to bow down to a player. So I think his future and Arne Slot's future will be treated as two completely separate matters. Arne Slot will be judged on results on the pitch. I think the Saudi Arabia links obviously will resurface again. I think they already have in the past 24 hours. I think the interesting thing for me would be, I think if Mo Salah wants to prove a point that he's been sort of prematurely written off at Liverpool, then going to Saudi Arabia isn't going to prove that point, and I think he will know that. I think he feels that he can still contribute at the highest level, but the issue is, because of the wages that he's on, because of the age that he is, there's probably very few clubs in European football that can afford to take that kind of burden on in terms of the financial side of things. So Saudi Arabia may well be his only option. So it depends how desperate he is to get out of Liverpool at the moment. He said he still loves the club, and listen, he will, whether he leaves in January, whether he leaves at the end of his contract in 2027, he will always be remembered as an absolute great of the club. But it's just really sad, I think, for this state of affairs to unfolded after, less than 8 months ago, Liverpool were celebrating winning the Premier League title.